Good afternoon, this is Jeremy Williams with Sewer Line Check Professionals here at 555 Loring Avenue in Los Angeles, and preparing to perform a video examination of the main sewer line. Main sewer line is the portion of waste drainage piping that is exterior to the structure. It lies underground and connects the building drainage system to the city sewer, which is typically found underneath the street in front of the property. The building drainage system is the portion of waste drainage piping that is underneath or interior to the structure. This examination does not focus on the building drainage system. We'll be entering into line today from a main sewer line cleanout, nicely located right here in the front planter area. It's kind of there. The front entry door is just to the right. The street is just out from us here. Main sewer line here is made of material called cast iron. Cast iron is a metal pipe that does rust and corrode over time. This metal piping typically has an average useful design life expectancy of approximately 60 to 80 years. The failure of this pipe occurs after all the years of its rust and corrosion. The pipe walls will eventually rust out to a point where cracks and holes start forming in the piping. Now, no test exists that can determine the remaining pipe wall thickness in any one area. This type of examination, really the only way to do that would be to dig it up and cut the pipe open and see how much pipe wall was left. It's obviously not really an option. That being said, when failure has actually occurred in cast iron, there are usually indications. We're seeing certain things that show the pipe's age, rust buildup, etc., but we're not seeing any indication of failure at this point, which is nice. One of the biggest indications of failure in cast iron piping is the existence of root intrusions. Pipe wall kind of got the camera a little dirty. We're just going to try to clean it off real quick. There we go. If we were to see root intrusions in cast iron pipe, it's the clearest indication that the pipe wall has been breached. Replacement has become necessary. We're not seeing that. Now, the only way to really monitor cast iron is through video examinations, which should be performed every couple of years, which will help to detect failure at an early stage. We are no longer in cast iron. It looks like we might be in a concrete piping. Trying to better determine that. You can see kind of the aggregate, the pebble showing on the bottom of the pipe, which would indicate concrete. Other things about it, however, don't look like concrete. The only other option is that it's clay, but I'm pretty sure this is in fact concrete. Both clay and concrete are materials that can allow for roots to intrude into the joints of the piping. This is definitely clay, this orange piping here. That's the city sewer, 72 feet into the line. This is where the responsibility of this property owner would end. This is concrete. Both concrete and clay are susceptible to seismic damage. Also, they're both can allow for roots to intrude into the joints of the piping. And while roots are common and typical, they do require that a maintenance routine be adopted to cut those roots out of the line, usually on about a yearly basis. When roots go unmaintained for extended periods of time, they can cause blockages or even potentially damage to occur. Obviously, damage being primarily what you would want to avoid. Didn't really see much for root intrusions. We're going to come all the way back now to the start of the concrete piping. I just want to get the best look we can. The very first portion of it is where we got that debris. It was also hard to navigate that first portion. So I didn't want to go back until I got all the way out to the city sewer. Right here you can see a little bit of excess mortar. That's why it's holding a little water. That excess mortar is very common as the pipes are put together. It's not uncommon for a little bit to kind of push into the pipe. Water has no problem draining over that. A couple of areas it looks like there might have been, it's hard to say, but there's no roots really, and if the pipe wall were breached in any area, you would almost undoubtedly be seeing roots. Here we are back in cast iron. So now we've kind of seen all of it. Looks like there's a connecting pipe there. All in all, it's an older system for sure, but it is working. Now, one thing to know about concrete that's important to know is that the city of Los Angeles in January of 2007 put a newer rule into effect, and that rule very basically states that concrete lateral portions of main sewer lines for properties developed prior to 1965, so it's describing that section of concrete pretty perfectly. The city is requiring that at minimum a lining system be installed regardless of the current and or apparent operating condition of the pipe. Now, we are not city inspectors, and only a city inspector or the city can make someone replace concrete. Just because you know about the rule or I tell you about it doesn't mean that you have to run out and replace it. I'm not authorized to tell someone that they have to. As far as serviceability is concerned, it appears to be doing just fine. But we do want you to, of course, be aware of this newer rule by the city, and you should fully investigate it to determine how it could affect you with this property. As of now, the only way the city is really going about discovering and thereby requiring the replacement of concrete is when certain types of permits are pulled for properties, usually major remodels or major alterations to the plumbing load. They can, as a part of the approval process for those permits, require a video examination be performed just like this one with a city inspector present. Upon the city inspector seeing the concrete, you'd have to be prepared for them to require some type of repair or replacement. Again, this is informational purposes. Serviceability-wise, it appears to be working fine. The only recommendations we'll have for this line is to have it examined again within a couple of years. This will help to monitor the cast iron. We can also see how things are kind of going with time in the rest of the sewer line as far as roots or any other thing. There aren't any issues that require maintenance as of now. But looking at it again within 2 years will help us to determine if there is any maintenance that's necessary, since we don't know the maintenance history of the line as of this time. And that's going to conclude the video portion of this examination. Again, this is Jeremy Williams with Sewer Line Check Professionals. Thank you very much, and have a great day.